Hey, if you have built your business website on a budget, DIY, and you're trying to figure out how to make it look more professional and or how to make it work better for your business and turn more visitors into paying clients, this video is for you. So we're going to quickly go over 6 things that you can do right now to improve your business website. We're basically going to be doing like a live audit of a real website that I was hired to overhaul, and don't worry, it's completely anonymous. No one is ever going to see this version of the website, and I've covered up all of her personal information. So you will just see the basics of the layout and some of the common mistakes. So let's get into them. So this is a Squarespace template that they just kind of plugged in their company name, company logo, a couple of photos, and their text, and called it a day, and then they weren't happy with how it looked. So let's see how we can improve this. So starting from top to bottom, we have the navigation menu right here. And one thing that I can see is there may be a couple too many tabs in the navigation menu, because the more options that you put up there, the less likely people are going to go where you want them to go, because they have too many options and they'll kind of get frozen or bored. You may lose them. So a couple things you can do to help with that is you really don't need to have a tab that says home, because nowadays most people know that if you click on the logo, it'll take you back to the home page anyway. So this tab is kind of redundant. Let's see. She does have her services in a folder, so this is just a screenshot. But normally if you roll over the services tab, it'll have a drop-down menu where you can select which service you want to look at. So that is a good idea right there. If your blog page is not that important to your potential clients and them needing to see it in order to book with you, then you don't need to have it at the top. You can just put it in your footer, or further down on your homepage, you can create a section that shows off your blog. And then the schedule appointment, a lot of the times, this is like the main thing you want people to do. So if somebody, for example, met you in person and they already know you and they want to work with you, they don't need to see your whole website. So they just need to go to your website in order to book with you. So a lot of times a good thing to do is to make this schedule button an actual button. Put a box around the word, or at least make it in a different text color, or make this font a little bit bolder, just something to help it stand out. So that way, if people land on your page, this is what they're drawn. This is where their attention is drawn to right here: schedule appointment or book with me or something like that. And then everything down here where you see the bottom of the page, I know I haven't scrolled down yet, and that's on purpose. Everything above this is called everything that's above the fold. So that means you don't have to scroll down in order to already know the company name and what they do. So that's great. What is missing here, though, is what makes you, what's your specialty? What makes you different? How do people know that they are the ones for you and you are the one for them? So the first thing you can do is put your location, because let's say that this is an interior designer and I'm somebody in Seattle who's looking for an interior designer. So I have no way of knowing right now if this person is a Seattle interior designer, or if they're in Dallas, or if they work with people across the world through online services. So that's something that's important to put right near the top of the page without anyone having to scroll down, so that way, if they have opened, like 10 or 15 different websites that they pulled from Google when they typed in interior designer, then they know not to move on to the next website, because they might assume that you don't work in Seattle if you don't tell them. You know what I mean? So, okay. So the other thing that you can do up here is maybe you're not location specific, but you are niche specific or style specific. So like if you're a wedding planner, you could say a wedding planner for the traditional Southern bride, so that that person knows without a doubt they're in the right place and they should keep investigating further into booking with you. So the last thing that you definitely want to have, especially if your template does not allow you to have like a booking button or a services button, or whatever you want them to do, more than anything else, whatever action you want them to do. Some Squarespace templates don't allow you to have like a piece of your navigation tab that like stands out from the rest. So you can put a button or a link of some sort near the top of your page somewhere, anywhere, that has the one thing you want them to do more than anything else. So maybe it's grab your free resource so that they can sign up for your email list. Maybe it's find out more about my services, or call today to have a free consultation. Whatever it is that you want them to do more than anything else, go ahead and put that somewhere near the top of your website. So it can be on a banner here, it can be up here in your navigation, whatever it is. Just don't give people too many options. This client wanted to split her services into personal services versus professional services. So that's another great way to do it. You can have 2 buttons near the top of the page here on this banner, and that way, whatever people are here for, they know which path to take first. Now, for anyone else who's not ready to take an action, they're going to be scrolling down to learn a little bit more. So now we reach the rest of the homepage here. So the first thing that sticks out to me is the fact that this photo is a great photo, but it doesn't seem like it belongs to the same brand as the other photo on the page up here. So I want this to stick out to you more than anything else. Photos are the number one way to look more professional with your website. They're the number one way to look like it was professionally designed and that you are an established business. So the more cohesive your photos are when you put them together, the better. As you can see, this one is colorful, it's bright, it's outside in the daylight, and it's talking about just like, it speaks to me about adventure, freedom, stuff like that. This photo is all about design, it's indoor, it's very structured. It's black and white. It has like a dark vignette, so it's a bit moody. So again, it's speaking in very different ways. So just be mindful of that. And if you don't have photos to use already, go to pexels.com or unsplash.com and you can get free high quality stock photos to use on your website, and then just type in whatever keywords. So whether that's a color that you want to use for your brand, or whether that's an emotion that you want to use for your brand, whatever you want to be consistent within your business, whatever you want people to see when they interact with your brand, that's what you want to type in. And then just pick any photos that you think look good together and speak the same language and put those across your website. So in terms of all the text here, the good thing that I can see is that she had already reduced her information into sort of small, like just a few sentences per paragraph, and even each paragraph is not that long. But the problem is that it's still a big list of text from top to bottom with not really much of anything breaking it up. There are a couple headings, but other than that, it's still coming across to the average person as just one big essay, and they're not going to be likely to read it. So you want to break up your text in any way possible, as much as possible. So that can come in the form of any type of like design elements, whether that's breaking up your sentences into different headings, bullet points, different columns would be a lot better than just having everything like reading from the left to the right across the full page and then all the way top to bottom. You can break it up into 3 sections. So 3 columns, excuse me. So you can see how she has 3 different services: huddles, coaching, and counseling. So let's say you have 3 main services or 3 main packages, whatever it is that you offer. Break them up into columns so that it's 1, 2, 3, and then that way they don't they're much more likely to have their eyeballs flowing throughout those sections, especially if you add a picture on top of each column or a graphic, an icon, something like that. If you don't have like imagery to use at all, always just do like different color sections. So in some templates, you can have a full banner across the page and you can add a background image or a background color to it. So that's another great way to break up the text from different sections and keep people more engaged, because right now it is just black text and very simple font on a white background, and that's pretty much it all the way down the page. There's just a couple little photos that don't really help in breaking the text up too much. So If you do want to keep everything very minimal, like not a lot of images, not a lot of color, then you do want to look for like more impactful fonts, and that way it still has an element of design and an element of interest that keeps people thinking, okay, I should pay attention to this because this isn't a font you see every day, so obviously like this brand is something special. So all of those little things communicate to the person that they should pay more attention, and then they'll be more likely to read. So the last thing is something that she did well is having a button at the bottom of the page, a call to action button. And a lot of people don't do this. And what can happen is after somebody just scrolled through your whole page, again, they might just be looking for who's the best person for them out of all of these different businesses that popped up on Google. So if they reach the bottom of your page and there's no button here, and there's also no links in the footer to, keep navigating through the website, then they may just say, okay, I'm done with this one, and move on to the next one. So you always want to encourage them to see what's next and just take the next step through that path that you need them to take before they're able to book with you. And the more specific you can be, the better. So it's good that this just has one button, and that pretty much guarantees that that's the button they're going to click. You know what I mean? So I hope that's super helpful. If you have any questions, of course, as always, you can DM me. You can leave it in the comments of this video, and I will be happy to answer. Let me know if any of these helped you, and thanks for watching, guys.